Hello and welcome to Heroes of History. This time we come to one of my favorite 4-star heroes, Qin Shi Huang. And well, you can see he has rather a lot of attack, his okay defense, and well, a decent amount of hit points too. Let's look at the ordinary stacks here. Normal base damage, 60 hits per minute, that's normal. Attack range normal, slow movement speeds, well he doesn't need that. Some extra crit chance and normal crit damage, which basically means something must have happened during awakening. First off, he gets some attack, gets some crit chance, that was there, more attack, even more attack, and some focus. So basically that means he uses his ability faster, and then he got a lot of extra attack and some crit chance. That's nice for an offensive hero. Now let's see his ability here is the Spirit Sword. Initial charge 6 seconds, regular charge 8 seconds. Qin Shi Huang summons his Spirit Sword that flies across the battlefield, damaging enemy units for 77.73 damage and healing allied units for 103.65% of Qin Shi Huang's base damage for 6 seconds. And well, that's a rather nice ability to have. Now let's see how that works in reality, and maybe even why I actually like him a lot. Now first off, to Malian Fort and battle number 1 there, and let's see how he handles it. Now we want the right set of heroes here. So these 4 here is the same as the last episode you saw, so let's go with that now that we have put him in place here. As he was more offensive hero than, well, defensive hero, I put him here behind, and now he can nicely put up his Spirit Sword anytime he likes, and then we can see how it works. As you can see there, it circles around. You can see my units, there's a green bar telling they get healed, while the enemies basically gets wasted. Let's look here for the next wave here. We need him to, yes, get them all over there. We get some shields for everyone, and now when they're finally over there, the Spirit Shield comes into play. And really, as you can see, it heals everyone with a nice sum of amount, as well as taking damage away from all the opponents right around there. As you can see, it's really super effective. I am looking forward to see how that affects when we look at the battle stats after this battle and see, well, exactly how effective it is, and if it even is as effective as I, well, feel it is when I do my regular battles. Now as you can see, we have no problem here creating a 3-star battle, which is, well, rather perfect for us. Let's see here, end is near, and here we go. Let's find those statistics and see what we have procured. Let's see here. Well, rather nice for Tomogosen. Not too much damage, but a lot of healing too. Even more than our Sugar the Great gives. Well, let's look into it. Now let's turn to the next battle here. Continue here. Waiting out, battle number 4, continue, and let's just see if we can manage once more here. Let's face it into the midst of our enemies here. Shields are up, our damage is delayed, healing is coming up, and here comes the Spirit Sword and takes out the rest that hasn't already been taken out here. Healing our own units, damaging away enemy units quite effectively. Even happens twice now. Looking good. Well, that means the Spirit Sword will happen rather late this round, so we'll have to see if they can work it out on their own. But with 8 seconds apart, it's not that lazy a skill in reality. It does really wonders. Now, as you can see, Tomogosen, it's an amazing ability she has there in the midst of it. Tomogosen, I can really see why she gets those outstanding damage statistics. Well, let's see here with this 3-star how much more we have this time. Sorry about that. Let's see here. Well, and more than Ashok the Great even this time. And most valuable player once again Tomogosen. Well, I'll put down those statistics. Let's continue with the next battle. Continue. Yes, and battle number 5, continue, and let's see how they deal with that. Let's see, 3-wave battle once again. Well, let them all be lured into Bismarck, while this one gives tremendous damage all over the place, and really see why she gets those outstanding damage reports. She is a very strong area damager. And though Qin Shi isn't as strong, well, he is also just as strong as a Shoker in the healing business. So one way or another, well, that's just not a bad trait he has. And especially when we collect them like this, so the Spirit Sword really can get it healing as well as killing enemy units. That really helps a lot. It's like having 2 healers on the team and still have 4 damage givers. Well, even though Tomogosen, well, probably makes more than half the damage given. It sure looks this way because, well, as he gives half damage, half healing, that's not a great damage giver, neither is she or he. So there is actually literally only Tomogosen to give the damage. But still, it really works because the others complement each other in a way that he collects them, gets the area damage, makes sure everyone in the close combat group is actually getting some extra healing that gets the battle going really great. You can see 80% that we have of our original health as this ends. Let's look at the battle stats. This time he missed the mark a bit much compared to Ashok the Great, but well, that can be amended by meticulously taking care of using his skills all together so they always land at the right places. And impressively enough, Tomogosen is past 100,000 damage. Well, we haven't seen anyone do that so far, but one should apparently be first at everything. Now let's test the next battle here and see if this 2-wave battle shows anything different, but Tomo being awesome at dealing massive area damage, and well, Qin being Qin and healing a lot as well as giving a lot of damage. We're getting a really easy battle here. Though that was a few wastes of powers that could just as well have been saved for the next round. Well, the shield will have to do for now to make us get through with this one. As you can see, Qin is giving his power outside of the scope where he can actually help the others, because well, we do it on auto like we well, almost always do here, and well, that cost us one of the stars this time, but it's a manageable battle to actually get 3 stars from if you do it manually. The powers here, but for the sake of the test, well, he doesn't get special treatment. Now let's look at the battle stats here. Even though we get that guy killed, he still gets the most valuable player. Impressive enough. Now let's take the final battle and let us let that be the final conclusion to whether or not this is a great hero or not. Of course, we'd have to take into consideration that this one is fully awakened, so he has the ability to show his full potential already. Nice throw, and oh, that's only a one-way battle, so, well, this time Qin isn't missing the target, neither by healing nor by damaging. Though, of course, it could be beneficial if he didn't just throw his ability at the closest enemy, but rather around the center of the battle. But I guess that would make him, well, too awesome. So in reality, if you can have the closest enemy like here, and someone here attracting everyone over, so, well, technically it would land in between and be even giving more damage. Let's look into these final stats here. Oh, back again at the top healer. Now let's look at it collectively. Bismarck gives a little more average damage, and well, Tomoe Gozen gives a lot more, but compared to Thomas Alva Edison, Qin Shi also does a lot less, so it makes sense someone has to take over that damage. Louis gets a little more damage, even Ashok the Great gives a little more damage. But, well, considering he has a lot of healing powers, that makes sense that the others have to do that amount of job. Somewhat the same damage taken. Well, Thomas Alva was taking a lot of damage. It seems to go to Tomoe Gozen, and in average, I think that's about the same damage received, so the battles are approximately the same length. Now here, Tomoe has approximately the same healing power as well, but impressively enough, even though he won 3 of the fights in amount of healing, he did end at a little less average than Ashok the Great. But given the fact that he can, in this constellation, give just as much healing as Ashok the Great, and on top of it give, well, let's just call it decent damage, makes him way better than Ashok the Great. Well, and technically he should be able to do that because, well, he's a 4-star and he's a 3-star, but technically not a healer, he's an area damager. So, well, he is definitely worth it, and if I had been fighting on manual, I could have made 3 stars out of all 5 battles. So this is a top-notch formation when we're working without any 5-star heroes. I will say thank you for watching this video.